Have you ever thought, damn, I got this. Maybe my ADHD isn't so bad after all. But then, a week later, your sink fills up with dishes, your tasks are all overdue, your friends are ghosted, and you'd rather stay in bed. It's almost like life with ADHD is overwhelming by design, and it is. I'll prove it to you in this video. I'll show you exactly how and why ADHD burns you out and what you can do differently to prevent feeling this way ever again. Then we'll talk about how to reach your goals in a happier, healthier way instead. But first, you have to understand why life with ADHD feels so much more difficult than it really ever should. If you imagine that life is a marathon, and completing the marathon means you have reached all of your goals. You can run faster sometimes if you want to get a little further, and then run slower sometimes to gain back your energy, and eventually you will reach your goals. That's how life works for neurotypicals. And then they come to you and they tell you that if you just focus and set clear goals and do your habits, you'll be able to replicate their success too. But there's one thing they're forgetting, because by definition, having ADHD means that some things are just going to be harder for you. It's like you're running the marathon with a backpack full of rocks. Now I want to show you how this exact process causes you to burn out and get overwhelmed every single time so you can learn to prevent it. You expend more energy to achieve the same results as everyone else. And you can't even take the time to recover, because if you did, then you'd never catch up. That's what eats into your energy for all the other important things you have going on in your life, like cooking yourself food or exercising or sleeping, taking care of yourself, answering your messages, whatever it is, you just don't take care of your needs. Also, you can get the same results as everyone else. Maybe. Because the more you sacrifice, the less you have left to give, until you have nothing left to give. Zero. You burn out, you don't care, you don't leave your bed for a month. Slowly but surely, you start to lose steam as you have less and less fucks to give, and then you finish the race. But not how you imagined. You miss out on those neurotypical goals, because it's literally by design. So don't beat yourself up over it, because you're not neurotypical, and it's okay. Especially if you've lost the race often, because then you might have lost your self-confidence too. And even if you did run the race at your own pace and you took the time to rest and you were just going slowly, you're probably still trailing behind everyone else. And if you like me, you might be feeling behind in life. So if you do reach those neurotypical goals, maybe life won't be long enough for you to see that. We're not behind. We're just in the wrong race. When I finally realized that, I was able to free myself from this stupid cycle of constantly trying to function like everyone else and at the same time being overwhelmed and burned out every 2 weeks, again and again and again, month for month, until my confidence was zero. Here's how you get out of it. It's a 4-step process, and you're already doing the first step. You realize that the game is rigged, and we have to redefine it in ADHD-friendly terms. Starting with this: if you feel that something is off with your goals, then maybe you are in this cursed race. So just write them down on a piece of paper, literally the goals that aren't working, so that they are out in the world and you are conscious of them. For example, you might write that your exercise routine and your work project aren't going as planned. That's step number 1, that's it. You don't have to strive for neurotypical goals. Ask yourself things like, do I need to exercise the way that I had planned? Can I maybe find an alternative? Does it need to be as often as I thought? Does it need to be at the gym? Can I also jog? Do I need to do this specific project? Is it possible for me to switch? Can I ask for help? Is it even important to me? That is the second step. You want to be aware of what's not going right, and then you want to be aware of what your potential options are, because the more options you have, the more opportunities you have to do something in an ADHD-friendly way instead of the way that you thought you had to do it. So now with that, we can do step 3, which is to move that neurotypical finish line, those goals, to a place where you can achieve that with a healthy balance in life. Then you have 3 strategies that you can use to redefine your goals. And the first one is you change them, just so that they are easier and more doable for you specifically. For example, if you are struggling with the work project, you ask for a different one that is better suited for your talents, and so you will be able to do it with much less headache. It's the equivalent of finding a path for the marathon that you can just run better. Or you can ask for someone to help or to delegate some of the work to, which is like giving your rocky backpack to someone else, because you don't necessarily always have to carry it alone. Your second option is that you just choose less goals, but one that are really important to you. And it's my favorite strategy. You might realize that the project is not so important to you, and you can have a way to let that go. That's why we explored our options. It doesn't mean you're giving up. It means if there is the option to and you want to because it's not important, you can do it. Then you focus on your exercise routine and all the other things you care about. And the last strategy is that you keep your goals, but just dial them down a little. Like maybe walking for exercise instead of going to the gym, or exercising only on the weekend, or exercising on your ADHD-friendly desk treadmill, because it's all about whatever works for you. So that is how you redefine the race and what it means to win for you, and shift the goalpost accordingly. That's step number 3. That's all you have to do. Now you just have to make sure that you don't come to the finish line trying to run like everyone else. We need to account for our backpack full of rocks, because setbacks and distractions and just bad brain days are inevitable. You can still get burned out and drained even if you have the dream ADHD life with all the accommodations. Like if you ask for a new project at work and you're rocking it, you can still get distracted and spend 4 hours looking at memes. It's ADHD. It is what it is. You can't expect yourself to stay at work for 12 hours while everyone else just goes home after 8. It's not realistic and it's not fair to you. But how do we do that? We don't even try to run like the neurotypicals. Instead, we start looking for ways that work for us. The world is full of ADHD hacks on TikTok, on Reddit, on YouTube, on Instagram. Things like the Pomodoro timer or accountability buddies, somebody sitting there with you, working on your desk treadmill, timers, plans, whatever it is that might work for you. You use that. It's normal. It's fine. You will find a few reliable strategies eventually that will help you manage your time and your focus so you can still stay on track in your own race. But they will fail and you will have tough days. So when that happens, try to work with your ADHD brain and not against it. It's something that I explain in this video. It's super important. It's not the same every day and it's a constant battle. But we're not giving up because we are the most resilient beings that I have ever seen.